Hello YouTube friends. So today I'm going to walk you through my latest sketchbook. Just finished it yesterday, I think. And I started it, so yesterday was September the 10th, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. September, let's say. And I started it at the beginning of March, so 6 months, so not too bad. This is a moleskin watercolor sketchbook. It's called the large, but it's not that large. I think it's like 8 inches by 5 inches, so, or A5-ish kind of size. So the reason I had this sketchbook, it wasn't kind of my first choice actually, but it was the only one that would fit in my small bag to take to South Sudan when I left the UK, and I had to travel very lightly. So this was the one that I grabbed. So I start the book off with a sketch of my sketching kit that I took with me. So mechanical pencil, micron, 0.2, white gel pen, and then my 3 Escoda travel brushes. So size 10, size 6 and size 2. And then these paints, which I got just before the trip actually, so I haven't really had them all that long, 6 months or so, and they are the St. Petersburg White Nights watercolours. So 14 colours in there. So I think it's quite a nice way to start a sketchbook. If you'd like some more ideas about how to start a sketchbook, or specifically a travel sketchbook, I've got a whole post with loads of ideas on the blog, so just go check out urbansketchingworld.com. I'll put the link to the specific blog post in the description below. So this is also another one of my suggestions, is starting with a map of wherever you're going. So yeah, I left the UK towards the beginning of March, sort of when the coronavirus was just kind of starting to worry people quite a lot, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, I went on a trip with my company. So I went with a group to South Sudan. And so this is like a little sketch of a passenger on the aeroplane from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to Juba, the capital of South Sudan. So you can see he was already early adopter, already wearing a mask. And then this is just the view out the window down into the city. So sometimes when I do a travel sketchbook, especially if it's a shorter trip, I'll kind of try and do a day-by-day little journal type vibe. And then this is like a long, I can't quite get it all into camera, but this is a long scene of the Toposa village that we visited. And I love these little huts on stilts. I've actually got a whole video on with sort of highlights of the trip to South Sudan, and I insert the sketches as I go. So if you're interested in seeing a bit of South Sudan footage, then go check that video out. I'll link to it in the top corner of this video. So more South Sudan. So this was like a double-decker hut. I like how one's on top of the other. And this was just an antelope that I saw at the camp. This was a bit of an experiment. There was this kind of bombed out church in a place called Capoeira, and there was a gravestone here, so I stood behind it trying to look into the church, and this is another view of the church, just trying to get an idea that it was bombed out. I'm not sure I was overly successful in those sketches, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. And then we visited the Larium tribe. So I'm not great at sketching people, or it's not something I do a lot of. So I was quite happy with how this sketch came out actually. I'm just trying to get her scarification as well on her cheeks. More cool huts. This guy was awesome. He was wearing a baseball cap with a big plume, a big feather sticking out of it, which was cool. This one I wasn't very happy with. This lady smoking her pipe. It just looks like she's broken her arm or something. I don't know. That's not how she looked in real life. And then we visited the Lotuko tribe, the kingdom of Iliu, and we met the king. and we had to greet him by saying "mong mong mong," which was quite funny. But yeah, I was quite happy with how this one came out actually. And then another one of him just sort of sitting, this ripped trousers, ripped knee. And then we visited the Mundari, and they just have the most spectacular cattle or cows, and they were just amazing to draw. I really like this one. This one was pulling this funny face. Not sure I was trying to be a bit experimental with my colours, but I don't know. And then this one has actually proved very popular as a print in my Etsy shop. Again, it was a bit of an experiment, but people seem to like that one, so that's good. And then, so I left South Sudan, and as you can see, I didn't really do I tried to do it day by day, but I got the key things that I wanted to sketch anyway. And then it's too much to explain really, but I should have gone back to the UK, and I didn't. I ran around the airport in Ethiopia like a headless chicken at like 10 p.m. at night because all the international borders were closing. So being on the continent of Africa already, I decided to change my plans and fly to Johannesburg to be with my boyfriend. And I'm lucky I made that decision because I've been here with him for the last 6 months. Otherwise, I could have been stuck in the UK, not seeing him for a long time. So, however, when I did arrive, I couldn't see him straight away for health reasons. So I went to stay with some of his relatives, and they had the most amazing garden and house, really. So this is, you can see the edge of their swimming pool here, and this is like a nice little kind of thatched area with some seating and stuff and all these beautiful trees. I really hated this sketch when I first did it, but actually now I quite like it, and I sort of did a thing that I see Lappan do, is like outline it in white gel pen. I quite like how that came out actually. And then this is a sketch of their front door and this amazing kind of gate. And I'm actually doing this as a commission for them because they've moved out of this house now, and they were there for like 27 years, so they wanted a few paintings as a commission. This is the view from their garden towards their house, which is okay. And then, you know, I was kind of sort of stuck sitting around the house really in quarantine, so I did some sketches from some reference photos that I took, from some photos that I took just before leaving London, before I went to South Sudan. So there's this like amazing building. It's an outdoor shop, but on top of it, just lovely architecture. And I always forget, like, even just mundane shops are like in the most incredible buildings sometimes in London. So I carried on just doing some London stuff really, because I was kind of in the mood, and I saw this photo of the Natural History Museum, which had this really interesting perspective. So I was like, oh, I'll try and draw that. I was quite happy with how that came out. I think I've got a video, a little time lapse of that, sketching that. And then at the time I was watching on YouTube portrait artist, Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Year 2020. I was so happy they had the episodes on YouTube to watch, and they host it in the Battersea Arts Centre, so I thought I'd draw the Battersea Arts Centre. And then I sort of continued on with the theme of London landmarks really, and I was again super happy with how this came out. This is a print in my Etsy shop. I think I channeled my inner Ian Fennelly in this sketch, but yeah, happy with that one. And then this is St Paul's Cathedral. I think I've also got this as a print in my Etsy shop as well. Again, quite happy with that, how that came out. And then again, just looking through my own photos really, just practicing, and I did this as quickly as possible, again just more as an experiment. I'm really happy how it came out. I like how it sort of leans to the left. I think it's got a lot of character to it as well, so it kind of proved to me that I can spend a little amount of time on a sketch and still get something I'm super happy with, versus like something that took me kind of hours. And this is Battersea Power Station, which is now, doesn't look so much like that since they're renovating it. And then this was a bit of an experiment. I saw on Tiao Yi Chi of Parker Blogs, I saw on his YouTube channel something about him and I think Tia Boom, this technique of like putting a background colour down on your page, just random splashes of watercolour, and then like drawing on top of it. So I did this kind of cool purpley, pinky, orangey thing, and then I just found in my photos from when I visited Iran this picture, and I just loved like the shadows that were being cast from all these different arches and stuff. I just really like the vibe of this. I think it's really cool. And then the same thing here, but with a photo I took when I was in Mexico, in Guanajuato, because I laid down this kind of yellowy, greeny red, and I was like, oh, it feels quite Mexican. So found this photo in my photos and had a go at that. So I didn't quite get the perspective right. If you look carefully, it's a bit of a mess, really, but I like the vibe of it. And then continuing on with London landmarks, I thought I'd have a go at Tower Bridge, which was a bit scary. And when I started drawing it, I was like, oh, this is rubbish. But I persevered and actually really love it now. And someone's asked me to do a painting of this for them. Yeah, so kind of matches the vibe of like maybe the Westminster Abbey one that I did earlier on. Yeah, really like that. Oh yeah, and then Big Ben. So I don't know if I can't really get this all in camera, but that's the nice thing about these kind of sketchbooks that lie flat, is you can just paint across the whole page. I haven't really ever done a long vertical one like this, so that was kind of a cool experiment. Yeah, again, I was pretty happy with how this came out. I've got a video on this one as well. I think I've got a video on quite a few of those London landmark ones. This was another one where I laid down the just random splashes of watercolor and drew on top. So this was from a photo that I took when I was in the like small little town of Clarence here in South Africa, on the border of Lesotho. And then this one is from a photo that I saw on unsplash.com, I think, but I just thought it was a really cool house, and it actually turns out that it's from this village called Laycock in the UK, and I think scenes of Harry Potter were filmed here, so that was pretty cool. I can see why. It's like really kind of higgledy-piggledy kind of little house. And then I did another one of Tower Bridge. I wanted to try a different angle, and I also wanted to give it that kind of journal-y vibe, so I wrote a few facts about it on the side. So I think the sketch is okay. I was a bit experimental with it. Yeah. And then this is another from that village of Laycock in England, another cute cottage. I think I just sort of went through a phase of finding nice pictures on Pinterest, just trying to practice really. And then I randomly decided to draw a Ford Fiesta, which is like really not the most exciting of cars, but there is a story behind it, and I put a video up of this as well. But I'm going to be doing the Mongol Rally in 2021, which is basically a road trip from London to, it used to be Mongolia, but I think it's Russia now. And you've basically got to do it in the crappiest car you can find, and it can only be a 1-litre engine, which is really small. So my friend suggested to me that I should look at a Ford Fiesta Mark 1 because they're old and cheap and small engines, but easy to fix. So, and I am expecting to break down a lot. This was another one just from a photo that I saw. I think it's from a little car in Cuba or something. And I was trying to demonstrate something about colour theory, you know, using making the shadows from complementary colours of the car body. This is from Draw This in Your Style challenge that @Brejans does on Instagram. So this is a photo he put up of a boat. So I don't really draw boats, so I thought I'd have a go, and I really like how it came out. Actually, I really like the sea. This was just of a hanging plant outside the window of the bedroom. Not that exciting, but I had like grey bits of marker coming through from some of this boat, so I was just trying to cover it up really. And then I got the wrong name of the plant, but oh well. This was another Draw This in Your Style from @Brejans. So yeah, just a random house. I can't remember where it's from. But that was quite fun to do. It's fun to see people drawing the same subject matter and how many different styles there are. I think this was just like a nice photo I saw on Pinterest, so I just thought I'd have a go at that. This was another Draw This in Your Style challenge. Again, quite happy with kind of how this one came out. An old wrecked Ford, I think. I'm not sure. This was some more cows from South Sudan. So this is actually, I think this is a print in my Etsy shop as well. I just love these cows. They're so cool. Another cottage saw on Pinterest. I was really happy with how the thatch came out, actually. I quite like this one. And then this is the front gate of the Nanhua Temple, which is about an hour away from Johannesburg, and I think it's the largest Buddhist temple in Africa, in the whole of Africa. Either way, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So if you ever find yourself around these parts, I'd highly recommend it. Looking at it is just awesome. I think I did a video of this as well when I was talking about my new filming setup. I thought I'd just try and draw some more people, practice some more portraits. I think I took a course on Domestica, watercolor portraits. So just kind of practicing that. Never really been very good at drawing people, but that watercolor portrait course on Domestica is really good. Like one of the best I've taken. I think I learned so much. I'll link to it in the thing below, the description. This is Berlin Cathedral. I think I did a video on this about drawing complicated architecture, so I can link to that in the top hand corner. Tried to just do it quick and loose, so I'm like reasonably happy with it. I think it's okay. This is another trying to draw a person. This is actually my nephew, and I totally got the face wrong. It's not right at all, but you know, you've got to practice, hey? And then I've got a video on this as well about line and wash tutorial. This is an A-frame house, I think it's in Maine. But again, I just saw this beautiful photograph, especially of these kind of autumnal trees. So again, I tried to do this one like super quick and loose, you know. Quite happy with how that came out. Another boat from Atbrajan's. Draw this in, no, it wasn't a draw this in your style, sorry. I wanted to draw another boat. So I found a photo for one. And then we were sitting in the garden and this rainbird just kept making loads of noise. And I didn't even know what a rainbird looked like. So I looked it up and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll try and sketch one because I've never really tried to draw a bird either before. So, okay. This is my houseplant called Jack. And we got him a few weeks ago. It's my first ever houseplant. So I thought I'd create a homage to Jack. And I think I've got a video on this as well, which is sort of about what to do when you don't really know what to draw, you know, when you're stuck at home and you don't really know what to draw. I've had this reference photo on my computer for ages, and I thought I'd finally try and tackle it because it's quite intimidating because there's just so many buildings. But I just tried to keep it simple and got the key, kind of the gherkin. This is London Skyline, obviously. Just some of the key buildings, and then just indicated like a bit of atmosphere with other stuff going on in the background. I think it kind of came out okay. I quite liked it. Draw this in your style, another boat. I took another course on Domestica, which was Lapin's urban sketching course. And he talks about urban sketching, buildings and stuff like that, but as well as like his way of doing portraits. So no pencil, I just did it like Lapin, started at one of the eyes and just tried to draw it in pen. And I actually, if anyone knows what Lapin looks like, I think I did like a reasonable job. So, and then I added these like ledger lines because obviously Lapin's like well known for drawing on accounting books. So, and his speech bubbles as well. So yeah, I was quite happy with how that came out. This was an urban sketch, so a sketch I did out on location, just in somewhere in Johannesburg. I've got a video on that as well. It was the first time we were sort of allowed out and we were allowed a beer, and it was nice. This is a sort of church kind of cultural center, I think, in Oaxaca in Mexico, which I had a photo of. And I think I'd got some new brushes or something, so I was just trying out those new brushes really. Oh, and a new colour, I got Naples yellow, so I was just trying that out. This is another exercise from Lapin's Domestica course, so trying to do sort of like a curvilinear perspective. So sitting on the bed, and with the sketchbook in the hands, my cool check pajamas. But yeah, just trying to get the whole of the, or like 180-degree kind of view of the bedroom. So I think I didn't get it quite right, but I quite like the I like the idea, so I'm going to try and practice a few more of these. And then I did a blog post on food sketching, so I wanted to just try out a few things. So quite like how this came out. Quite like that onion. I like that garlic. And then I recently, as in like yesterday, just got my hands on some gouache. So I got the kind of Winsor & Newton designer's gouache, and I just got the CMYK mixing set. So red, yellow, blue, white and black. So I thought I would try and paint some scenes of the hike that we just did in a place called Kranskloof. So yeah, I did a colour version and just tried to do a black and white version. What I will say is it's hard work trying to mix these colours from just red, white and blue, red, yellow, blue, white and black. It's good practice, I suppose, but yeah, I feel like I went through a lot of paint, but yeah, I guess I've got a long way to go on the gouache thing, but I think I'll just keep practicing and I might get it, who knows. This was another Draw This In Your Style. So this is the Ye Olde Cock Tavern in London, which I think is London's narrowest pub. I've actually been to this pub. It looks really small from the outside, but it goes up, so it's actually quite large. It's pretty cool. It's a nice pub. I think it might be one of the oldest ones as well. Not the oldest, but definitely very old. This was another Draw This In Your Style, so like an old abandoned truck with like leaves and stuff coming out of it. I was quite happy about the rust effect that I got there. Quite like that. Another Draw This In Your Style, so just a random pier scene, wheelie bin. Another one, I think I put all of these at the back initially because, I don't know, I don't like working front to back in a sketchbook. I tend to just sort of jump around. Quite like how, yeah, I deliberately tried to leave it a bit unfinished, and I was trying to practice with that style, you know. I quite like it. Another Draw This In Your Style, another kind of abandoned little stone cottage, I think in New Zealand somewhere. Another Draw This In Your Style. Really happy with how this digger came out, or this bulldozer came out. And this is actually a print in my store, and my nephew has this hanging on his wall as well because he's just, you know, he's like 5 and obsessed with diggers and bulldozers and stuff. And then that's it, guys. So thank you very much for checking out this sketchbook tour. So as you can see, it's like a bit of urban sketching, but then obviously lockdown happened, so it's quite a lot of sketching from reference photos, and also just joining in on some of those drawing challenges on Instagram, which is really nice. I feel like a bit of a part of a community, you know. So if you want to join in on those, there's loads of them, but I really like at Brejan's. I like his ones because they're more kind of like architecture and boats and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of wraps up this video. All of my tools and equipment and preferred supplies are listed below, so do check that out. Check out the other videos on the channel, and also please do check out urbansketchingworld.com because there's loads of tutorials and inspiration and ideas and all kinds of things there, so check that out. Okay, cheers guys.